Order! Order in the court! In today's trial, it will be the channel of Alex X against random Discord weirdo. Mr. X, you may have your opening statement. Yes, Judge. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I know this situation may seem dumb, but we need to discuss the potential of this to turn into a bigger deal. Because what is at stake is something more sinister than we realize. A complete mischaracterization of an action. And to finish up my opening statements, I have to present you my evidence. So, jury, ladies and gentlemen of the court, like I always say, let's quit wasting time and just get right into it. If you aren't aware of the situation, basically a Discord message got leaked on Twitter that got a lot of attention. In this Discord message, the quote-unquote person claims that if you're teabagged in a video game, it's considered a word that rhymes with sexual alt, or SA for short. And no, I promise you this is a thing. They then go on to elaborate that since if you don't consent to getting teabagged in a game, it's SA, and that their viewpoint is justified because it happened to them a lot in real life, that their siblings in real life used to teabag people all the time, apparently. That kind of sounds like a family problem more than a video game problem, but okay. And if you don't believe me, here are the alleged screenshots of the conversation this person had about it. And here is the sequence of tweets. I'll start from what we believe is the first one and then kind of go through. Yep, and then we get into games where people think it's okay to teabag and that it's funny, when really it's SA. Ugh, we live in a gross world. I just want to help beautify it. Here's the next tweet in the order of it, and there's going to be 2 parties with this one, and then the next one there's 3 parties. So we're starting with a different party who starts off this thread, and it says, if teabagging is sexual, I'm a repeated sex offender. Then there's a reply that's Lamau, and then the other person who's saying that teabagging is SA says, I mean, it is sexual assault. If I do not consent and someone rubs their genitals in my face, that's SA. I wouldn't be proud of being a repeat offender. And then after that they say, you may think it's just a video game. Well, I grew up with a large crowd of boys who did that for fun all the time to other people IRL. It's not funny, it's disgusting. And this is the last bit of evidence that we have here. This is 3 parties, I believe, and this one is about the person that, you know, believes teabagging is SA, and they say, wow, imagine defending SA right when someone opens up about being sexually altered that way. Way to minimize my experiences. Then there's a different party that says where, then the other party that said teabagging is SA says it's right there. And then the first person in the original one, the second reply, said, I'm deeply sorry, my reflexes made me resort to my in-game character crouching on another in-game character's dead body because I shit on them very hard. I would like to rub my gigantic chamber balls in their face. I'll try very hard to not do it again. And then the other person that believes teabagging is SA says, literally no excuse for SA. So if you kept up to this point, this person is equating that video game teabagging is just as bad as IRL teabagging. I'm genuinely trying my hardest to not erupt into a puddle of pain and agony. Here's the meat and potatoes. Obviously, right off the bat, this message could be fake. In fact, this message sounds faker than Kim K's ass. But the other 2 options are that this person could be joking, unlikely, or that these messages are just bait. But having lived in a society myself, I know there's hypothetically already people on this planet that believes this. So to anyone out there that genuinely thinks this, how old were you when you were dropped in your head? Just asking for a friend. But this reminds me back in the day around 2016 when there was that chick that claimed she was raped in Grand Theft Auto, and it caused her real-life trauma. And much like this drama, it highlights how soft people can be. Like, I understand if you were a former victim of SA, that you'd have a problem with that being depicted in games, but teabagging and the so-called grape in GTA are not even close to that. And the grape one, if I remember correctly, turned out to be fake, but that just gave me a flashback. It's kind of weird to think about that in current times, but I guess we can always just go back to the vault on those kinds of things. But I must have missed the grape update in GTA, but damn, Rockstar just always knows how to outdo themselves, right?
Good job. Good job.
But now let's circle back to the main topic, because even if it isn't real, we can still talk about it. But why is it so easy for people to use video games, and specifically actions in those video games, to make a point about shit in real life? They kind of make it sound like it's oh, hey look, in video game, you can do bad thing, so gamers will obviously do bad thing. Right? And this is probably most recognizable when the video games industry is always being blamed for violence, or that video games cause children to become more violent. as if children don't possess functioning fucking brains. And it's always funny seeing these people scapegoat video games, because it's always the old fucks who are jealous because their only experience with any type of game was probably the asbestos-laced marbles they had growing up. And it's always just so dumb, because I genuinely feel like these people think others just are stupid monkey robot people, and that everything imprints on them and everything has a direct influence on them, and it just causes them to do bad behavior because the brain works like that. I swear, just trust me, bro. It's really dumb and really harmful to any real conversation you can have about influences to violence. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but teabagging in COD or whatever fucking game you do it in doesn't equate to SA in the real world. Yes, I know, thank you. I will be accepting my Nobel Peace Prize now.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to spit some facts, so listen up. Close your mouths and open your booty holes for this truth.
And we're just completely forgetting that people have the ability to distinguish real life from fake shit like video games and other media like that. And it's incredibly stupid to think that anything that happens in a game should be treated seriously, because if that's the case, anyone that's played a game like GTA or Hitman is a murderer. And if that's the case, since that's how we're gonna go about using our logic in this situation, this is my omission to guilt. Lock me up forever, Judge. Thank you for sharing your statements, Mr. X. Now, time for finishing arguments. Go ahead. Thank you, Judge. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I'm here to defend an action that has been passed on from generations, from when I was a young man to now as an older man. But my opponent is grossly over-exaggerating the impact teabagging has on everyday people. And I think you and I can see this simply just by using our brains. My opponent is claiming that teabagging is SA, or that it could lead to SA in a roundabout way. This is a gross over-exaggeration, and this has no place in discourse. As we all know, teabagging is not SA, nor does it cause SA. Much how like violence in video games doesn't cause real-world violence. And ladies and gentlemen of the court, Judge Judy, I think my case here is wrapped up in to say that my opponent is lying about teabagging, and in fact is doing this for sympathy. But if you don't see it that way, then that's understandable. But I want you to think long and hard and think, does teabagging actually equal SA in real life? That's only for you to answer. Thank you, Judge. Alex X, since you confessed to the charges weighed against the other party in this case, and in a shocking turn of events, I have found you guilty.
You what?
Boo! And I order you to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the crimes of absolutely destroying the defense's arguments about teabagging. This court is dismissed.